So final preparations are underway for Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. World leaders are expected to join the royal family at Westminster Abbey for Her Majesty's service on Monday. The Abbey is a historic church where Britain's kings and queens are crowned, including the Queen's own coronation back in 1953. It's also the place where she married Prince Philip in 1947. So let's get you a sense of preparations leading up to her funeral. We're joined by UK broadcaster Carla Delaney, joins us via our video link this morning. Carla, thanks very much for talking to us. Great to have you with us on the program here in South Africa. So the official funeral is on Monday, but I imagine there are a number of events in the build-up to that.
There have been many events in the build-up, and I witnessed part of one of them on Wednesday when I went to London. There were thousands and thousands of people, as you can imagine. The underground trains and the overground trains and the buses, everywhere was packed, and there were just people milling around, thousands of them. I went to witness the flowers that had been placed outside Buckingham Palace, that had been removed on Monday and placed in Green Park. And they were beautifully displayed. People had taken a great deal of trouble. I think they were just well-wishers, helpers. There were a lot of helpers around, and they had displayed them in a very loving, careful way. So none of the flowers that had been placed were, just thrown away, which I feared. They were lovely, and the smell was beautiful and very, very touching. Yeah. And then we walked up towards Hyde Park, and we witnessed the King's Royal Artillery, and they had actually renamed themselves on one of the vehicles that followed the cannon and Royal Artillery that were bringing them to tell us that the Queen's coffin was being brought from Buckingham Palace to Westminster, and the cannon were tolling at 1 minute intervals, and I was in the Hyde Park witnessing this, and I could feel the vibrations of the cannon every time they fired.
And Carla, even as I'm talking to you now, these are live pictures coming to us. The Queen's lying in state. Thousands of people, we understand, are still continuing to wait in line to pay their final respects.
9-hour queues, I gather. And people are being very respectful. They're staying up all night to walk through London in order to get in place so that they can pay their respects. I mean, it is a sight that I never imagined I would see. The people who are doing this do so in silence when they need to be, but there's camaraderie as they walk through. Just as I experienced, people were lovely. The police were very kind to us. We asked what was happening, where we should go. Everything was done to precision because things had been in place for many years, and on the death of the Queen, Operation London Bridge comes into play, and at the moment we're witnessing Operation London Bridge in full form. And at night, at the moment, the parade that the funeral parade that we are expecting on Monday, they are actually rehearsing for it in the night.
It's so interesting to see just the level of emotion, even as members of the public make their way there to pay their final respects. It's not something that was unexpected, and yet people are feeling it quite deeply, the Queen's passing.
I felt it, certainly. You can't help but feel the emotion of the occasion. I feel very sad, and it makes you think of loved ones you've lost, funerals you've attended. My late mother, I'm feeling very much the sadness that I felt at that time. We all are. There's many people feeling just like this, and just like me, they want to feel they're doing something And actually that does happen when somebody dies, when a member of your family dies. You have a lot of duties to perform to arrange the funeral. And in those times, it doesn't feel real. You know, you don't feel it's real until you see the coffin, until the funeral ceremony happens. We've now seen the coffin, and I think that has brought it home to many people. And there is this feeling of sadness, deep sadness.
I'm just looking at some reports online around the various events that will be taking place in the build-up to her funeral on Monday. King Charles and his siblings set to stand watch over the coffin of Queen Elizabeth II in what's being described as a poignant moment ahead of her state funeral on Monday as well.
That is going to be a big moment for them, and it's a big moment for us to witness that. It's a family in mourning. In normal circumstances, that would be a very private moment, but this is a very public moment, and that's the way that the Queen lived her life. She lived in public service, and this is the final thing that she has done for us, because I know that she's planned this. You know, the whole family have planned this for many years.
Carla Delaney, let me thank you for your time this morning. Thank you so much for giving us a real sense of the mood in London and just the feeling there from ordinary people as they go and pay their final respects. The queues there as the Queen lies in state, some say 9 hours, 11-hour queues to make their way past the Queen's coffin. The funeral, of course, is on Monday.